Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me in this Paletteful Packs June 2021 unboxing. As always, the full description of each item in this month's box will be listed in the box below. So let's get started. First of all, how cool is it that I opened my box and the first thing on top was our sticker, perfectly laid out, this cute little sketchbook with this cute little face, and it's like the universe knew exactly what I was going to do first, and yet somehow I forgot to put the sticker on before starting the swatches. Anyhow, the first thing we have here is 7 Holbein Artist Colored Pencils retailing for $27.65 or $3.95 each. The colors we received are Rose, Wisteria, Cherry Blossom, Lettuce Green, Cobalt Green, Naples Yellow, and Sky Blue. The little stars on the pencil is the light fastness grade, or simply put, the resistance of fading, or how likely the colors would fade if exposed directly to sunlight. 3 stars being best on Holbein's chart, which only one pencil has a 3-star rating and the rest have 2, which is okay. I also totally believe the price point and have complete faith in the quality because Holbein is an artist grade brand, aka professional, high quality, head honcho art supplies. These are oil based and good for drawing sketches or full-on illustrations, even great for using with other mediums. They came pretty dull, which is nothing a little sharpener couldn't fix, but overall they look good, and I'm so happy that we got these pretty pastel colors. Next up is the Holbein Meltz Colored Pencil Blender retailing for $8.99, and to help us try this out, the Princeton Select brush in number 4 round retailing for $7.99. So I didn't try to fill in the boxes perfectly because I do believe that this mixture isn't to help dilute or blend the colors, but better used to get rid of the grainy texture colored pencils tend to leave behind, and that's how I personally feel this item is best used for. It's described as a water-based blending thinner, and it says that while some colors are more difficult to mix or blend, the best way to mix these colors would be to use the pencils in a crosshatch or layered pattern. Again, in my opinion, it does help blend colors a little bit, but what it's best at would be to help smooth the texture and fill in all the spaces. If you want to blend, then you really have to layer these pencils on top of one another. It's achievable, but it is a lot of work. For the surface, we have the Crescent Cold Press Illustration Board, a 3-pack retailing for $10.46. I like these, nothing bad to say here. We also have an All Stabilo colored pencil. I've received these before already. It's a water soluble pencil that's super pigmented. I mean, a little really does go a long way with this pencil, and it only retails for $1.70. So before I get to sketching, I want to show a little sample of what I mean by having to really layer these pencils to mix colors. Again, it's totally possible, but a lot of work, and I'm simply not built for that, so I will most likely be using these as they are. So now moving on to the sketch, I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do with these, so I turned to my favorite, well, really my only tattoo flash art book. I bought it off of Amazon. It's called Tattoo Johnny, and it's an awesome book, and I love to use some of its arts for practice and inspiration, so that's what I'll be using as a reference. Now let's talk about how I used these and my thoughts on these items. First, I decided to put a light layer down of color, and I mean super light. I made sure not to perfectly fill everything in because I wanted to test out that Meltz liquid by pressing hard on some colors and pressing softly on others to see what blends better. So once I got that light layer over the petals, I went back over it by pressing down harder at the bottom, then slowly releasing pressure as I colored to the top of the petal. So far, I really like the way these pencils feel. Just holding them, you could tell that they are a very good quality color pencil, even though I don't have experience with other colored pencil besides like the ones that we had in grade school, aka like Crayola pencils and Crazy Art pencils. I really don't know what I'm talking about, but holding these feel really, really nice. And moving on to the leaves, I pushed down pretty hard because I want it to be as pigmented as possible. And again, I want to test out how smoothly the Meltz will blend out that pencil texture. Then as with the pencils, I took the yellow color and layered that on top of the little swirls, hoping to see if I'd be able to achieve some blending effects, and then on the tips of the leaves. Then I used the cobalt green to add some more dimension and depth to the leaves and fill in the June lettering. Then I moved on to using the sky blue and wisteria to build that depth in the scroll, and I purposely waited until the end to add in the black because I wanted to use water for the stabilo and Meltz only for the colored pencils, because I wanted to see how they would layer on top of each other and if that water would have any effect on the pencils underneath. And as you'll see, the Meltz liquid really does smooth out the texture. So I was really pleased with that. And with the areas that I layered over each other, I was able to achieve a nice blend, like on the little swirls. But again, it's not the Meltz liquid that's going to make these blend nicely into each other. It's going to take the layering. It's going to be how you use the colored pencils and then use the Meltz liquid on top of it to add to it. The blending isn't going to come from the Meltz liquid. It's going to come from what you do with the pencils. It's not like a magic liquid that's going to make it the best blending in the world. You still have to really work at it. Then lastly, I moved on to the Stabilo, and normally I would have nothing bad to say about this pencil because I know that it works well. The only thing is that when I tried to use water to blend this out on top of the colored pencils, it did not work out well. I'm assuming it's because it's an oil-based colored pencil, so the water doesn't really want to sit well on top of it. I had to do a lot of dry brushing to get the Stabilo to blend the way that I wanted to, and even then I did have some trouble with it. Otherwise, this is a really good pencil to use on its own, or maybe even try to use the Meltz with it instead of the water. And maybe that's what I should have done, but oh well, I was curious, so I wanted to find out what was going to happen. After doing all that, I went ahead and outlined everything last, and overall, it was a pretty good box this month. There's really not much else to say except that I'm really looking forward to experimenting more with these. Again, thank you so much for joining me. We are almost at 400 subscribers, and I hope to do another giveaway at 500. Let me know your thoughts on this box, or if you have any suggestions of other fun ways to use these items, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!